Hello there, this is Marcio Gali again, and welcome to another episode of Coding with Agents or Culture Coding with Agents. And these are reflections from the day of a builder developer going through the AI agentic days. Okay, so in today's session, I want to capture the video of this developer talking with the agent when this developer is actually summarizing what's next in terms of the to-do plan. All right, so context here first, because I'm going to use Jarvis here, right? Jarvis mode on, and so the context for you. So we have memos in there. Besides that, this is a software system being produced, okay? There's a database, see, database in the computer. Some code there under the boxes there. The agent is right there. The memo is in the middle, right? So see, we have a history of working sessions. This is today's session, see? Right? So we work through memos. My name there. Yet we don't have the notion of a persona for the body there. And I think that's going to happen. But we defer that to tomorrow. And in terms of the system, okay, we have, this is the situation, okay, in terms of a demo. So what is this? It's a TPS report. It's a calendar. It's an accounting system for working hours. It's something that helps the builder to know when to stop something, okay? Because the big problem of developers that they enjoy starting, right? But they don't enjoy pausing work. So I came up with this system, I think like 6 years ago or more. And that was initially meant to know, saying starting session, this is the end of the session, and I need an executive summary right there. So I can increase awareness about what's going on, right? So that's one thing. So for instance, I have different activities here on the left-hand side. I call those seasons, okay? Those are seasons. And then for each season, what we have are, see, episodes there, right? And when you tap to view episodes, I see I'm browsing through past meetings. And the meetings, they have widgets. I mean cards, not widgets, cards. And these cards are produced by the widgets, right? Okay? So there's a post-it widget there. There is a post-it right there. There is a Google Calendar widget producer at the top. You see this past meeting, we have a Google Calendar widget, and that's because in many meetings, that's why I have things in this calendar, okay? That's just context. It doesn't really matter what we're doing today in terms of what's the system, right? It's just because if people are like, building a system for an ice cream cart. It's good to know that it's an ice cream cart. Thank you. All right. Okay, so back to the reality. Now, we had like the management wants something, okay? So that's like, it's a new day, it's a fresh new day, and use case here for you. When I enter this sales season, right? I have an option there. I see view report. You see how nice, like a newspaper, right? So I know that for sales in this something project there says it doesn't really matter what that is. This dude spent 6 hours 45 minutes. Oh, and these are the episodes. That's very nice, right? But that's for the seasons, okay? And in terms of use case, we want, this project here wants what? A view report for instance, right? The past meetings, like this meeting. We want to view like that. But today we view like this, right? I want to view as a report, something that I can print. So when I go get a coffee, I can put it on paper and I can reflect. That was a good meeting, something like that. All right. Okay. Now, no, new day, fresh new day. Oh, let's talk about that. Where are we? So, memo started like this, right? We want to create a report view that looks like more like a report, but it's focused on specific meeting episodes. This direction aligns with the prior report view work. There's some ambiguity in there, right? That's why, in this case, decided to use context, gathering information. And then, I went through activities with the buddy. Right, let's talk about the existing report implementation. So, can you check the code there and give me some overview, status there, right? Good. And again, let's do some investigation about the existing episode view flow. It doesn't really matter the jargon here, the name, right? But what I meant to say is this thing, right? The meeting episode flow. All right. Then, again, some technical data there. And another third, by the way, the two first, I had an idea that, right, we want to do what we did for the seasons there. We want to do for that as well. That's a good thing, right? It's where we came from. Now, I didn't know I was going to enter the third. So the third is new. The third is because of the two prior work. After reflecting on that, then, yes, so I need to then it started being creative about how we're going to approach this problem. So there's some technical detail there, and I was like, oh yeah, by the time that we do this, can we save some information there to prepare to the report so that later we can review. All right, so then at that point I realized, we can go to the to-do plan. So now we can go. So general goal, give the user a report button that produces a reporting style similar to the seasons report. See the seasons report flow described above. This is a report button for a specific past event. So, influencing, right? And now the second bullet there. What should that be? So I just want to record at least one bullet here live. So you have enough information, right? So this is about documenting how this working culture. This is why I call, right? This coding with agents. The season is culture coding with agents. Why? Because everything we do becomes to some extent static, don't you think? We have dynamic things. Then, we start creating processes. And this can be good or bad. No one is saying here, right? But it becomes a strong culture. Don't you think? When you do, right? When I keep doing through memos, when I keep putting the memos here, we're defining a strong culture. I'm not saying that's a good culture. I'm not saying this is going to work. I'm not saying this is the best the model for developing with agents or with teams. I'm just saying that whatever you do, how you organize your box, you are defining a strong culture right from the beginning, right? And that's it. Maybe this should be the end of the episode, right? It doesn't really matter adding one new bullet in there. But if so assume it's the end. I'm just going to continue for a little bit here. This is after session, right? So what should I do here with Jarvis keyboard? Okay, so for the next bullet, all right, we should enable a button on the right hand side of the working canvas panel. And that button should be named Save Data. And this button should kick a flow. That's the second bullet. This button should kick a flow where we actually, similarly to what we're doing for the work canvas, generation of the panels, which, by the way, as you know, and as documented before in this memo, goes through all the events and all the widgets to get the output generated data. We should use such data, such output data, as the data that's going to be saved. In other words, the JSON, third bullet, actually next bullet, the JSON file that we save under the specific episode. And by the way, you can use a subdirectory inside the episode directory store, but for the past event, right? For the past meeting episode, the JSON that you save there should be, therefore, should match the output, the generated data after the widgets have processed. You see, in a release, right? And I know it's confusing. Apologies for that, and I won't even read that, right? But here is it's tricky, right? Jarvis and keyboard can get things wrong because my English is not native. So you should pay attention. In addition to that, sometimes, I read from here, right? Because this is going through the memo. You see, enable button on the right hand side of the working canvas pane save data. This button should kick a flow where we save data similarly to the work canvas generation panels, traverse our events, and all widgets generate output data and use that generated output data to be saved. The JSON file saved on a specific episode uses a subdirectory inside each episode store should match the output generated after widgets have processed. So this is good. It's not too bad, It can be better, but it's not bad. It's not. It triangulates, right? It advances towards being specific. Okay. Now another bullet, okay? This bullet is, at this point, after data is saved, we should have another button on the right hand side of the prior button, saving visualize episode report, and then we should implement this view flow, which, by the way, use that data. So we're basically, of course, passing an ID, and here the reference in terms of implementation of this view report is similar to the above case that we, in terms of patterns, that we did for the seasons, of course, but right now we're making for the episodes, right? And release. And then I send. And again, don't do this at home because you should read. But then you get this. After data is saved, add another button right hand side of the prior button, saving view, visualize episode report. Visualize episode report. To launch the report view flow that use that saved data, pass an ID and implement using episode ID, episode ID, etc., and implement the view similar to the season report flow, season report view, season report, but for episodes, of course. All right, so it's slightly confusing, I know, but we're gonna go with that. Okay, so now can you implement the to-do plan? And by the way, you should read the above sections, focus on the to-do plan. This is a multi-step process. This is a process to think through, and reasoning is high. I repeat, reasoning high. I still don't know how to, when we talk with people, colleagues, right, sometimes they say, pay attention here, right? we're doing that kind of thing, right? So I still don't know, but I say reasoning high, not changing the reasoning method. And these days, I don't know why. Don't ask me why. I just changed to high as well. Okay, so go, and now I go make a coffee. Okay, and I just hope and see you on the other end. Thank you very much.